Davis?
Here.
Mr. Jester?
Here.
So you have 7 present. You do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Before you, Commissioners, you have the agenda for tonight. If there's no additions or deletions, I'll ask for a motion to approve in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Sarah called Commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to
Mr. Servan?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvary?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So you have 7 yeas in favor of approving tonight's agenda.
Also in front of you tonight, you have the minutes for the January 12th, 2023 meeting. If there's no corrections to those minutes, I'll entertain a motion in a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Sarah, call the Commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servan?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvary?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So you have 7 yeas in favor of approving the minutes of January 12th.
Thank you once again. As you can see, the levy court action is basically what we had approved and passed along. If you have any questions about the Reese Apartments, please see staff. Going down to new business. First one on the new business tonight is C-23-01, East Evans Community Solar Initiative. Request conditional use approval of a community solar farm located inside the growth zone overlay district. They did a great presentation last week, and there was questions, but there really wasn't anyone against. So at this time, I'll entertain, if anybody here doesn't have any question, entertain a motion to move forth. Mr. Garvey?
I move that the Regional Planning Commission recommend conditional approval of application C-23-01, a community energy generating facility located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. This is based on Exhibit A, staff recommendations reported dated February 2nd, 2023. Exhibit B, public hearing testimony dated February 2nd, 2023, and the findings of fact that A, the subject site is zoned AR, agricultural residential, and 205-64 and 205-397.9 permit community energy generating facility as a conditional use. B, the location is approximate and not in conflict with the comprehensive plan. C, the public health, safety, and general welfare will not be adversely affected. D, the plan complies with the conditions of 205-397.9. Pursuant to Chapters 187 and 205 of the Kent County Code and pursuant to 9 Delaware Code 4802 and 4811, the Commission has reviewed the application and the February 2nd, 2023 staff recommendations report. And furthermore, as part of this approval, the applicant shall comply with all staff and agency requirements as described in February 2nd, 2023 staff recommendations report, including but not limited to the following conditions. A, prior to the final plan approval, the operator or property owner shall provide a bond, surety, letter of credit, and other financial assurances in a form and amount applicable to the Department of Planning Services to secure payment of 100% of the anticipated cost of removal and all associated site improvements and restoration of the site to its pre-development condition. The financial assurance shall remain in full force and effect as long as the solar facility remains in place. The financial assurance shall be reviewed and renewed every 5 years to ensure the amount reflects the current market. B, the perimeter fencing shall be 7 foot in height and be designed to allow small animals and birds to move under or through the fence area. Gates shall be installed on multiple sides of the fence perimeter to allow egress for deer should they become entrapped in the fenced area. C, any artificial lighting shall be designed so that lamps and reflectors have cutoff shields and use down lighting so that direct lighting does not illuminate the nighttime sky and is not visible from beyond the project site. All lighting shall be of minimal necessity. All lighting shall be minimum necessary brightness consistent with the operation, safety, and security, and have automatic controls such as timers, photo sensors, or light or motion detectors. D, ground cover shall consist of native pollinator seed mix that includes a variety of herbaceous plants and grasses. E, the property shall remain in compliance with the county's property maintenance code. F, applicant for building permits shall be made within 24 months of project approval. If no applicant for building permits are received by the department within 24 months, the plan should be considered invalid. However, the applicant may apply for the department for the reapproval of the project for any additional 24-month period in accordance with 205-397.9.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a motion.
Second.
Second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvary?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes for everything included in the motion.
So you have 7 yeas in favor of recommending conditional approval of application C-2301.
Thank you very much, and good luck with your project. Second on our business list tonight is C-23-02, Lance Maffa. Request conditional use approval of a pawn shop located inside the growth zone overlay district. Once again, last week he did a great presentation, and there was no opposition. Would one of the commissioners like to make a motion? Dee Dee?
I move that the Regional Planning Commission recommend conditional approval of application C-23-02 for a pawn shop located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. This is based on Exhibit A, Staff Recommendation Report dated February 2, 2023, Exhibit B, Public Hearing Testimony dated February 2, 2023, and the findings of fact that the subject site is zoned BG, General Business, and 205-170 of the zoning ordinance permits a pawn shop as a conditional use. B, the subject site is located inside the growth zone. C, the proposal comports with the comprehensive plan. And pursuant to Chapter 205 of the King County Code and pursuant to 9 Delaware Chapter 4802, the Commission has reviewed the application, and furthermore, as part of this approval, the applicant shall comply with all staff and agency requirements as described in the February 2nd, 2023 Staff Recommendation Report and the following conditions of approval. A, there shall be no outdoor storage permitted on the subject site, and B, outdoor display of store merchandise shall be allowed only during business hours, shall not encroach on any designated parking spaces, and shall not be displayed within the 75-foot front setback.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes for approval.
Mr. Galvary?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So we have 7 yeas in favor of recommending conditional approval of application C-2302.
Thank you very much, and once again, good luck with your project. Next, we have CZ-23-01, LC-23-01. Dean Scarborough, request to amend the zoning map from BG General Business, Highway Commercial to AC, Agricultural Residential, Low Density, Residential located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. Once again, with no opposition, and he did a great presentation. Do I have a motion, please?
Yes.
Peter?
I move that the Regional Planning Commission recommend approval of ordinance LC 23-01 to amend the zoning map from BG General Business / Highway Commercial to AC Agricultural Residential / Low Density Residential located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. This is based on Exhibit A, Staff Recommendation Report dated February 2nd, 2023. Exhibit B, Public Hearing Testimony dated February 2nd, 2023. And the findings of fact that A, the character of the surrounding area is agricultural and residential. B, the proposed zoning district complies with the comprehensive plan's land use strategy map designated the area for future residential development. C, there will be compatibility between the uses of the property as reclassified and the surrounding land uses that would promote the health, safety, and welfare of present and future residents of the county.
Second.
Have a motion. Do I have a second? Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon?
Yes, as per the motion.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvary?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So we have 7 yeas in favor of recommending approval of ordinance LC 2301.
Once again, thank you very much and good luck with your project. Fourth on our business agenda tonight is SL-23-01 Weber Farm requests major subdivision approval of a 203-lot residential development located inside the growth zone overlay district. I believe the gentleman in the back is the one representing Weber. Can you come to the mic for a minute? Confirmation, please. I know you sent us a letter this week and talked about what we requested, and I just want for the record for you to say, give us your name. I guess he won't have to be sworn in, correct?
No.
Your name?
Jonathan Content, Land Planning Manager with K. Hovnanian Homes. Do you need our office address?
No, we're okay. You don't know who you are.
And I believe what you're asking for is confirmation that we are going to rework the plan to try to connect the path from northwest all the way to the central amenity, which I believe we have in writing to Sarah that we are intending to do that. We weren't able to get that plan done in a week, but we are intending to comply with that and connect the paths. Yes, sir.
And the reconfiguring of those lots that we talked about.
I believe we did that conditionally because we wanted to wait for Kent Conservation to tell us whether or not we needed that space for stormwater management. And if it turns out that we don't need that for on-site capacity, then we can certainly rework those lots.
Okay, Sarah's going to comment on it.
I think the agreement at the hearing was also if you can't reconfigure them because you need them for stormwater, that we could rearrange landscaping to try to demarcate where
Correct.
lines are.
Correct.
Right, okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
I appreciate it, and I thank you for listening to us. A lot of times people don't
problem.
think. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for coming to the mic.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Nobody else have any questions on those subjects? If not, I'll entertain a motion for this particular project. Mr. Garvey?
I move that the Regional Planning Commission grant conditional approval to application SL-23-01, a 203 lot residential development located inside the growth zone overlay district. This is based on Exhibit A, staff recommendation report dated February 2nd, 2023. Exhibit B, public hearing testimony dated February 2nd, 2023, and the finding of fact that A, the subject site is zoned AC, agricultural conservation, in which a single-family residence subdivision is permitted use. B, the application complies with the King County Comprehensive Plan. C, the application complies with the Adequate Public Facilities Ordinance. Pursuant to Chapter 205 of the King County Code and pursuant to the 9 Delaware Code 4802 and 4811, the Commission has reviewed the application, and furthermore, as part of this approval, the applicant shall comply with all staff and agency requirements and planning staff recommendations as described in the February 2nd, 2023 staff recommendations report, including but not limited to the following conditions. A, the open space that are not utilized for active recreation shall be planted with a no-maintenance perennial ground cover to reduce the mowing requirements for future homeowners association. The species of ground cover must be approved by the planning office prior to final approval of the subdivision. B, redesign lots 162 through 177 to eliminate the proposed open space and instead incorporating this area in the adjacent lots or install a landscape buffer around the perimeter of the open space to demarcate between individual lots in the open space. C, include a walking path in the area between lots 146, 147, 136, and 137 so that it is continuous and to and from the 2.51 acre central active open space area. D, the internal pedestrian walkway and open space areas shown on the plan shall be clearly demarcated, ideally by split rail fencing so that lot owners do not mistake these strips of land as private property.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galfrey?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
No, I'm not voting.
Is that a no vote or not voting?
No, a no vote.
No vote. Thank you. Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes, with the changes as we recommended.
So we have 6 yeas, 1 nay in favor of granting conditional approval to application SL 2301.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your changes. We appreciate it. Good luck with your project. Number 5 and the last under new business tonight is SLV-23-01, 49 Pines. Request waiver from the sidewalk construction requirement along a major roadway and landscaping plan revisions. I assume, Mr. Mulberg, you're here to represent the application, so please come.
I am.
It's good to see you back. You've been a stranger.
Nice to be here. Hopefully the COVID winter is over, or close to it, at least.
You and being your attorney, you're okay to go ahead with whatever you have to say.
So I don't have to say a lot. Primarily, we had to move the trees around because we were in the KCD easement areas, and they were in suboptimal areas. We're over-treed significantly from what is a code requirement. And this is also a neighborhood largely surrounded by trees, so it's a pretty good-looking neighborhood in my view. It's also completely built out. Some of these little tweaks are coming up when we're trying to kind of close up things and turn it over to the HOA. All lots have been sold. All amenities have been installed other than the blacktop on the walking trails. There is a little section of multimodal path that DelDOT approved us not including because it's kind of a multimodal path to nowhere. But we do install I think it's about 700 feet of multimodal path along the whole front of the property, across and to the other side of the entrance, so it ties into the sidewalk system.
And it's that part, excuse me, that's outlined on the red on the map. We have that high-tech thing there down by you if you want to. If you can do it, Mark, or he can do it, show him the area where the sidewalk is being eliminated. You can touch the screen down there.
So there is a path from this corner across the entrance is right here, and then just beyond the entrance. So it's just a little piece right here that is like the path to nowhere that DelDOT quite a while ago actually let us delete because it's a path to nowhere. But the entire other path is there. Is that the question you were asking?
Yes, I just wanted you to point out so everybody would understand what we're doing.
And there was some objection from the neighbor encroaching towards his property also. But basically, that's the request. Tweaking it again,
Okay.
just slightly.
I think there might be a question up here. Denise has a question.
I'm the crazy woman that was adamant about the 49 Pines thing. And I understand why you had to move the road and all. That was a DelDOT. My question is, because these plans always confuse me. The 49 pines that are mentioned in the plant schedule are a particular type of pine. And obviously that has something to do with the 49 pines. Are they located along West Denny's? Will all 49 be along there?
I believe that we moved all 49 along West Denny's. I'm not positive
Okay.
about that. There was already a buffer area there, so we kind of crammed everything we could in there. I think we moved all 49 in there and removed some other trees to accomplish that.
Right, okay.
That's my best memory,
Okay.
though.
All right, thank you.
I appreciate that. Is any other commissioners have any questions for this gentleman? Anybody on the phone, Mark? Thank you, sir. I assume that makes your presentation. We will
Does,
now
thank you.
take up your project. If there's no more questions, then I'll throw this out to our commissioners. Would somebody like to make a motion? Denise?
I move that the Regional Planning Commission grant approval of the sidewalk waiver and revisions to the 49 Pines landscape plans, superseding the plans recorded November 3, 2021. With this approval, the following requirements must be met. A, the plans must be revised and re-recorded to include all items contained in this memo and/or requirements of the Regional Planning Commission. B, include a note referencing the approved sidewalk waiver on the west side of 49 Pines Drive. C, all proposed landscaping shown on the recorded plans must be planted and inspected by the Planning Department prior to granting the final approval to the developer prior to full HOA turnover.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon?
Yes to approve.
Mrs. Karcher?
For the motion.
Mr. Galvary?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So you have 7 yeas in favor of approving application SLV 2301.
Thank you very much, and I assume this will probably be the last time we'll hear about 49 Pines. Good luck with your project. We're now down to public comment. Any public? Nobody here? Anybody on the phone, Mark, for public comment? Seeing no one on the phone, under Commissioner comments, I have been asked to inform you that on February the 21st, the Levy Court will be having their meeting about the zoning ordinances. You are all invited. The meeting will be at 7 p.m. in this room here. It's not have to be here, but it might be a good idea if you are here to hear what's going on. Also, I've been asked by a couple of commissioners, and I don't know what staff would think about this. We're not going to take it up tonight, but I've been asked why we couldn't start meeting at 6 instead of 6:30. Sarah, would you have any opposition as we pass it around?
I don't think anyone on staff would object to an earlier meeting time.
Well, knowing that you're here from the time that you actually close your doors to that time, I think in overall it might save money and all. I don't know, Mr. Lyson, would that be a problem with you?
Not at all.
So we won't take it up tonight, but I'll work with Sarah and all between now and next meeting. We might have that particular motion to put forth. But get back to me, commissioners, if you do have an opposition to it or you do support it. I'd like to have it either way.
What's the time on that Levy Court meeting on the 21st?
Didn't hear him. I couldn't understand, Paul.
7 o'clock.
What is the time of the Levy Court meeting on the
7
21st?
p.m.
February?
7 p.m. in this meeting room right here.
All right, thank you.
It's 21st. Any other commissioner comments? If not, I'll entertain a, Peter, do you have something? Or, no, you just, oh, Denise was bothering you, I understand. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
The motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to adjourn.
Mr. Servon?
Yes to adjourn.
Mrs. Karcher? Mr. Galvary?
To adjourn.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to adjourn.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to all the above, and thank you for coming.
Good night, all.
Good night.